Good morning, everyone. My name is Brianne Haas, and on behalf of the entire Pavaso team, I want to welcome you to today's mobile closing webinar for notaries who will use the Pavaso Web Close platform for digital e-closings. This training will include digital signing instruction for mortgage loan closings which have wet signed notary documents. This training does not include training for digital notarization or e-notary training for Pavaso. Today, I will explain three things. I will explain the overall e-closing process. I will show you how to complete a digital closing, and I will explain what you need to do in order to obtain your Pavaso certification. So first, let's take a look at the overall digital process. The process begins with the mortgage lender who will create an order in Pavaso. They will upload the final loan package into Pavaso and will then assign a closing company and agent to the order who is notified via email. That brings us down to the title work, where they will upload their package into Pavaso and apply signature tags or templates where applicable. They will then complete configuration, which will send the borrowers an email notification that their documents are ready to review at home. The borrowers will then sign in and open the order. Prior to closing, the borrowers were sent their documents to review. They were given the chance to review and accept each document. For any document that was accepted, the borrower's signature is applied to the document at closing. They review and accept their documents, again doing this at home, and then the borrowers confirm that they are ready to close. This will bring us to a status of pending closing. Your order must be in pending closing status in order to close, so be sure to check that prior to departing for your closing. During the closing, the required parties will meet, all digital documents are completed, and then the wet signed documents are sent back to the title office in order to close the loan. Now let's talk about some things we need to know and do before the closing. You will be sent an invitation email from Pavaso letting you know that an order has been assigned to you. That email will look like this, and you will need to click the Click Here link in order to accept your invitation to join Pavaso and create your account. Each of these things should be done prior to your meeting with the borrowers. You also need to verify the hardware you are working with meets our minimum requirements. These minimum hardware requirements are a laptop with a mouse. You must have internet access in order to close the loan on Pavaso. You will not be able to access the website without internet, so be sure that you have a stable connection at the location which you are meeting the borrowers, or be sure that you have your own mobile hotspot. You must sign into Pavaso and verify that the order has been assigned to you is in pending closing status. If the order is not in pending closing status, then you need to contact the title office immediately. You will either print the wet signed documents yourself, or the closing agent at the title office will print them for you. You will need to contact your title office to talk about which option will be applicable to you. I will show you how to identify if your order has been in pending closing status and how to print the wet signed documents if you need to. You will visit www.pavaso.com for the order assigned to you. You will enter your credentials created after you received the invitation email. On the application dashboard, you will use Digital Close Enterprise to conduct digital closings. Although there are many applications, Digital Close Enterprise is the only one that you will ever use. You will be asked to enter your 6-digit PIN that you set up along with your username and password. Only you know this PIN. However, you can use the reset link if you forget it. To verify that the order is in pending closing status and to print your wet sign documents, you will need to find the order assigned to you. You can search for the order using the loan number found in the email that you receive when Title adds you to an order. Or you may search by any of the columns listed here. You can search using the search field at the top right. Here on the far right-hand side is the status bar that will show you that the order is in pending closing status. Again, your order must be in pending closing status before you leave to meet with the borrowers. You can click anywhere on this bar to open the order. You will then be prompted with this screen. In order to print your wet sign documents, all you need to do is click on this print button here. You'll see this pop-up which is asking you to confirm that you do want to print these documents, as once they are printed for wet sign, they are not able to be converted back to a digital signature. You'll choose yes, and this PDF will populate all wet sign documents. Documents from Pavaso are accompanied by a barcode, which you see here. They are on top of the actual document. You will need to print the barcode as well as this document. It is critical that you return these barcodes with the wet sign documents to your title office, so be sure to include those in the package that you send back to them. At this time, you can log back out and go meet the borrowers. Once you have logged back in with the borrowers, you will choose Web Closing as your closing option. You will not choose any other platform except for web closing. After selecting web closing, choose Continue. You will then choose Buyer Access and Continue. The borrowers will then need to confirm their presence to Pavaso, and to do so, they will enter their 6-digit PIN. They created this PIN when they created their account. We now need to capture our digital signatures. As the mobile notary, you may be required to sign. If so, you will see your name on the signature page. On the far right side, we will click Edit. I am using a Surface Pro with a stylus, but this is not a requirement to complete a close on Pavaso. It is recommended to have some type of touchscreen device as it is a bit easier to sign, but as mentioned, the minimum requirements are a mouse with a laptop. It will be your responsibility as the mobile notary to be sure that the borrowers are signing their names correctly. You can see their full name across the top of this screen, including a middle initial or full middle name if applicable, and the signatures that are required. Once a signature is complete, you choose Adopt. Again, to capture, we click on Edit on the far right side. If your borrowers are signing and have missed a middle initial or don't like their signature, they can click Delete here and retry as many times as they would like until they are happy with their signature. Once all signatures are complete, we can choose Continue at the bottom of the screen. This brings us to our task list, and we will hit Start Closing to move forward. At this time, all of our digital signatures are being applied to the documents that were accepted and saved at home by the borrowers. If we scroll down, we can see that Mary's signature is already present, as well as the date, because she accepted and saved this document at home. So it requires no further digital action. Our Buyer Complete button here at the top left will need to become live in order for us to move forward with the digital close. In order to find which documents have tasks remaining, we will come to List of Docs here on the left-hand side and choose Incomplete. You will need to click on this first document to open it. There may be documents that require a signature at closing because a borrower perhaps did not accept and save at home. So we're going to scroll down and see that neither borrower accepted and saved this document. So we will need to individually sign them. You will see Sign Here at the top. All we need to do is have the borrower click inside the signature box, and their signature and date will populate. So we've signed for Mary, and now we'll sign for Gary. After each task is completed, we will hit Save to save this document and move forward. You will be prompted to move to the next document. Now we have some text here that needs to be completed, as well as some signatures. So we are able to click on these check boxes and enter any text that is applicable. We also need to sign for Mary, so again, just clicking in the blue signature box. And again to sign for Gary. Again, choosing Save. Our Buyer Complete button has become live. Here we have two options. You can stay here if there is a document the borrowers would like to view again. If you choose to stay here, you will need to click Buyer Complete to move forward. Otherwise, from this prompt, choosing Continue will act the same as clicking on Buyer Complete. I will choose Continue. You will be prompted regarding importing wet sign documents. You will not import any wet sign documents, but it is your responsibility to make sure they are signed correctly. You will choose Import Later. You'll be routed back to this screen. At this time, you have completed all digital tasks for the borrowers. You can now sign out of Pavaso at the top right. Be sure to get your wet sign documents signed and returned to the title office as soon as possible. And that's it! You've completed your portion of a digital closing with Pavaso. In order to become Pavaso certified, you will need to complete a practice order similar to the one you just saw. You will receive your Pavaso Mobile Notary certification via email. This will conclude our training. Thank you so much for your time.